as we talked about, I alluded to in the beginning, primary source verifications are more challenging now. So why is that? Julie, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure, Melissa. For all of you on this call, when we started creating this slide, it started with 3 bullet points and it grew to 4 to 5 to 6 and it really pointed to really the challenges and the complexities associated, first and foremost, difficulty accessing data. I'd like to believe that licensure boards, certification boards, they don't want to create challenges relative to accessing the data, but there are certainly challenges with CAPTCHAs, throttling that directly impact the on-demand real-time aspect of accessing that primary source data. Um, this is a major obstacle in efficient primary source verification. There's no question about that, especially with the volumes of data that are passing through your organizations and broadly. And again, this leads into point number 2. The sheer volume of data is exploding. We've got more providers who have more licenses, more certifications, more credentials. It's a lot to undertake, and this makes it hard to be efficient, to collect, process, and manage all the necessary information that underscores the need for automated solutions. Manual processes just simply can't keep up, which leads us into complexity. So as we think about all the different licenses, all the different certifications, the emergence of licensure compacts, the renewal cycles, um, the list goes on. The complexity makes tracking and verifying these credentials a I don't know if this even does it justice, but it does make it a logistical nightmare. And not only for yourselves, but the professionals too, who want to maintain compliance, ensure they're able to provide care. The varying data standards, for those of you who are behind the scenes and understand what this means, is you verify at different primary sources, different licensure boards. They have different data formats. They have different standards. Their taxonomy and other professional codes. It can just be really complex and challenging. And next, alongside of that, is evolving regulations. Both MedTrainer and ourselves take a lot of pride in keeping a strong pulse on the regulatory landscape, as I mentioned, their next webinar. And along those lines, with a constantly changing environment, new requirements and guidelines being introduced regularly, that really does certainly point to being challenging, minimally complex. And then fraud and misrepresentation. This one always makes me a little bit sad, but unfortunately, there are instances of individuals, as you all know, attempting to falsify their credentials, some intentionally, others unintentionally, but detecting and preventing such fraud requires sophisticated verification techniques and vigilance. And then last but not least, is really the need for continuous compliance monitoring. As you look back at times in the past, there really wasn't the level of technology, sophistication, or automation that unlocked an organization such as MedTrainer and ourselves to ensure that you're continuously keeping a pulse on compliance. We all know it's not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. And making sure that you're identifying any adverse changes or status changes in those credentials is really important to stay on the proactive side of mitigating risk.